Growing up, all I really wanted was to be like the top 1% of men, right? I wanted to be that guy driving the Lamborghini who had like the crazy six-pack body, and that's all I really wanted. But at the end of the day, I was nothing like that, right? I was this loser kid in a sense who would go out to the bar 3 nights a week, who would eat whatever the fuck he wanted, who would half-ass his workouts, and because of that, I fell into like this deep spiral where I didn't like anything about myself because what was there to like, right? The things that I was doing, there was nothing to like about them. There was nothing to be proud of the fact that I was going out 3 nights a week. I couldn't be proud of the fact that I was eating junk food every single night. I couldn't be proud of the fact that I was skipping my workouts. And this sent me down a deep spiral of just questioning who I was as a person because I knew that I was meant for so much, right? Every single night, I would literally before bed, I would just sit there and dream about this ideal person I would be, right? I'd dream about myself driving a nice car, dream about myself just being so physically fit, and just dream about myself being so attractive and just this amazing version of myself, right? And I dream about that every night, and then I would just scroll TikTok all day. I'd go to the bar at nights, and then late at night, the cycle would continue. I would sit there and I would dream about who I wanted to be, and I would just constantly just think of who this person could be, right? But I wasn't acting like that person. I wasn't acting like that man that I knew I should become, right? Because when it really comes down to it, most people are like this. You probably have that dream version of yourself that you're thinking about just deep down. When you're laying there at night, you're just envisioning this successful ass version of you, this version of you who is so physically fit, just looks incredible. And you think about that every night. You think about how you would feel, you think about what your life would be, you think about how people would treat you, you think about the respect that you would have as a man if you had that ideal life, right? But at the same time, you don't live the life that that man would live. You don't take the actions that that man would take. And this is the trap that I fell into for so long, right? Because manifestation is fucking bullshit. You can manifest all you want, but I promise you, if you're not taking the actions to be that person, you'll never fucking become them. You can't manifest shit if you're not taking action. It doesn't fucking matter. You could sit there all day and night and think about this dream version of yourself that you want to be, this successful version of yourself, right? If you don't actually take the actions, do you think you're going to become that fucking person? Do you think it's just luck? Do you think that everyone who's successful is lucky? Fuck no. Of course they're not. Do you think every single person had shit handed to them? No. Do you think this body was handed to me? Fuck no. Of course not. I worked my ass off for this. And every single person who's physically fit, almost every single person who's successful or rich, they worked their fucking ass off for it. So don't sit there and think that you're going to do I'm going to manifest. No, the fuck you're not. You're not manifesting shit. You can't manifest anything if you don't live it. You have to live the lifestyle that you want to be, right? And what I came to the conclusion of was that I wasn't happy because of my actions. I wasn't happy because the person that I was trying to be, the person that I wanted to be, I wasn't acting like them. The dream version of myself who was maybe super physically fit, right? Do you think he would be going to the bar 4 nights a week? No. Do you think he'd be eating fast food every single night? No. Do you think he'd be skipping his workouts? Of course not, right? That's just plain and simple. Do you think that the dream version of me who's successful and rich would be scrolling TikTok all day when he should be working? No. Do you think that he would be jerking off whenever he should be fucking learning about his business and trying to better his business? Of course not. No. These successful people you see, they're not a fluke. All they did was align their lifestyles with who they want to be. And that's what I'm talking about today, is aligning your lifestyle with the person you want to become. If you want to be that top 1% man, you want to be the man of your dreams, your lifestyle has to directly align with exactly how that person would live. So I want you to sit there and think, what would I do if I was a millionaire? What would my life look like if I was jacked? Do you think if you were jacked, you would eat a bunch of bullshit? No. Do you think if you were jacked, you'd go to the bar 4 nights a week? Hopefully not, right? So you have to think that your actions right now do not correlate with the person you want to be. So you have 2 choices. You can either switch your actions and correlate them to now the person you want to become, or you can keep the actions the same and therefore you will stay the same. You're not going to manifest success. You're not going to manifest a good body. I promise you. This didn't come from manifestation. This didn't come from praying and telling myself, please give me a dream body. Please, universe, give me a dream. No, it doesn't work like that, dude. You're not going to achieve shit if you don't take the actions towards them. But that being said, The key to being fulfilled and the key to like enjoying your life in a sense is to take those actions, because I promise you there's a good chance right now, if you're watching this, you might not feel the best mentally, right? You might be a little upset with your life. You might be kind of upset with where you are, upset with the way you look, upset with your financial situation, upset with whatever in your life, right, that you don't like, because there's something deep down that you hate about yourself and you really want to change, right? Whatever that is, are you taking the actions to get out of that situation? Because if you were, then you wouldn't feel like shit, right? When I was dead broke, when I had no money to my name, I was grinding 12 hours a day to get my business off the floor. I didn't feel like shit because I knew I was taking the actions. When I looked like shit and I had a terrible physique, right? I looked terrible, but I had started to now work out and really consistently dial that in. I started to stop going out. I started to like dial in my nutrition. I got shredded, got my dream body. And while I was doing that, I felt happy and fulfilled with myself far before I had the body. Right? Because what you're developing first is the mind. In order to become a top 1% man, in order to succeed in every facet of life, you must develop your mind more than you develop your body, because the mind takes a greater amount of force to develop, right? Your mindset right now is a compilation of all of the things you've experienced and all of the things that you are right now, right? Your mindset comes from the actions you take every single day. So in order to change that mindset, you must change your lifestyle and the actions that correlate with that mindset. And I didn't understand this, right? I didn't know why I felt like shit until I realized that, well, let's look at my day-to-day schedule. I don't do fucking anything to develop myself. I wonder why I feel like shit. Let's try to change this. Let's start waking up early. Let's start going to the gym. Let's start eating healthy. Wow, I feel amazing. It's funny how that fucking works, right? Isn't that crazy? So you have to understand that you're never going to become that top 1% man if your actions do not correlate with the person you want to be, and more importantly, if your mindset is not at the best it could possibly be. You have to develop your mindset, and you develop it through the actions you take. It's a simple 3-step process. Actions that correlate with who you want to be, those translate into the mindset that you now need to be successful, and that mindset translates into you actually becoming successful, because actions combined with mindset equate to whatever you want to achieve, right? You watching this, you could literally achieve anything you fucking want, but I promise you, you'll never manifest it. You'll never just like have it spawn into your life, right? That girl that you want, that car that you want, that six-pack that you want, it's not going to magically show up. You're not going to ask God for it and it gets spawned into your life. That's not how prayer works. Prayer means nothing if you're not actually taking the actions towards it. You can sit there and ask God all day to give you this, that, and whatever, but he's not going to fucking give it to you if you don't take the actions necessary. Then you're just not deserving of it. So I want you to sit there and think to yourself, am I deserving of success? Am I deserving of my dream body? Am I deserving of my dream lifestyle? And the answer is probably no, because you're not taking the actions you need to have that lifestyle. You're not taking the actions you would if you already lived that lifestyle. If you want to be successful, if you want to be jacked, whatever you want to be, you have to take the actions and have the mindset as if you were already there. Because me right now, right? You see me in this car. It's a decent car, right? 3 months ago, it was my mom's car. And a year from now, it's going to be a fucking supercar, okay? That's what you need to understand, is that I already envisioned myself in that car. I envisioned myself in this car 3 months ago, and I took the actions that were needed to get into this car, and now here I am, driving my own $40,000 car. So it's the same thing with you, right? And it's the same thing with getting in shape. Before I was jacked, before I had a good body, I envisioned myself what I would look like. And then I took the steps to be like that, and I already felt like I looked amazing. I already felt like I had this confidence. And then the confidence continued to fuel me to do the work, and eventually I got the body I wanted. And now I envision myself as an IFBB pro, a professional bodybuilder in some type of federation, and a few years down the line, that's gonna be me. Because I want it, I take the actions necessary for it, and I have the mindset that I already fucking have it. Everything you want in life, you already have it. Everything you want, I promise you, it's already within you, but you have to go fucking get it. You could accomplish anything you want to accomplish, but if you don't go get it, if you don't take the actions necessary for it to come into your life, then it never ever will. It's literally one step away, and that step is taking the actions you need to be that person, taking the actions that that person would be taking. And I promise you, when you correlate those actions with who you are, your identity shifts, and then you become the person that you want to become. If you guys are new to this channel, my name is Brandon Snedek. I usually just yap in my fucking car, to be honest, but I also post a lot on Instagram. I'm very active on there, and what I do essentially is I help men in their 20s, 30s, 40s become the ideal version of themselves, become that top 1% man. And I've worked with dozens of men to do this. We have a 100% success rate. And the reason that my guys are so successful is because of the pillars we implement, the pillars that I talk about in all of these videos. So if that's something you want to learn more about, you can always DM me on Instagram. I respond to every message myself, and it'll always be like that forever. And if you do want to apply, obviously the Calendly link is going to be in my bio. It's in this description as well, so you can click that. And if you do, I will see you on the other side. I love you guys. Peace.